Why Genghis Khan's tomb remains hidden forever? For almost 8 centuries, the final resting place of one of the world's most formidable conquerors has remained elusive. Genghis Khan, the legendary Mongol leader who forged the largest contiguous empire in human history, seemed to vanish into myth upon his death. Despite reshaping entire continents and redefining warfare, his burial site remains shrouded in darkness, hidden by centuries of folklore, geography, and silence. Whispers echo through time, tales of witnesses slaughtered to keep the secret, rivers diverted to obscure the site, and even entire forests planted as veils over his grave. This is no ordinary historical mystery. This is not just about the whereabouts of a lost tomb. It's about secrecy so powerful it rewrote memory, loyalty so fierce it led to mass sacrifices, and a spiritual respect so deep that even today, the living hesitate to disturb the dead. The mystery of Genghis Khan's tomb lies at the intersection of history, legend, science, and culture. It spans deserts and dynasties, satellites and superstitions. Could it be that this secret was never meant to be revealed? Could the deliberate erasure of his tomb be part of a larger, intentional legacy left behind by Khan himself? Today, we take you on a journey into one of the most enigmatic stories from our past. Before we dive into one of the greatest mysteries of history, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more epic historical deep dives. Now, let's begin. We explore who Genghis Khan was, why his death remains such a secret, what the legends and the facts tell us, and why many believe his tomb will never be discovered. Who was Genghis Khan? To grasp the weight of the mystery, we must first dive into the man behind it. Born as Temujin in 1162 on the unforgiving steppes of Mongolia, he grew up amid betrayal, tribal warfare, and starvation. His father was murdered by rival clans, leaving his family destitute. He endured captivity, family separation, and the constant threat of death. Yet, from this chaos emerged a brilliant and ruthless strategist. Temujin would unite the fractured Mongol tribes through a blend of diplomacy, coercion, and sheer military brilliance. Once crowned Genghis Khan, or universal ruler, he launched conquests that toppled dynasties, broke empires, and connected East and West in ways never seen before. His empire stretched from Korea to the Black Sea, incorporating diverse cultures, languages, and systems. But Genghis Khan was more than a warlord. He valued meritocracy, religious freedom, and legal reform. His empire promoted trade along the Silk Road, spread technology, and advanced postal and administrative systems. He had spiritual leanings, with deep reverence for the eternal blue sky, a Mongol deity, and a belief in the spirits of the earth. These spiritual roots played a significant role in how his death would be handled. The legends surrounding his death. The exact circumstances of Genghis Khan's death remain unclear. Some sources suggest he fell from a horse, others cite illness or wounds from battle. Whatever the cause, his death in 1227 triggered a chain of events unlike any in history. According to legend, his body was transported under absolute secrecy. Those who bore the responsibility of moving his corpse reportedly killed anyone who saw the procession. The funeral party is said to have been followed by squads of assassins, each killing the previous one to ensure the secret died with them. Entire regions may have been wiped clean of witnesses. Then came the effort to erase any physical trace. Rivers were rerouted to cover the burial site. Forests were planted to conceal the area. Horses trampled the land until no fresh soil remained. Some legends even claim that 10,000 horses rode across the terrain to ensure no visible disturbances lingered. These stories sound fantastical, and yet they remain strangely plausible. The Mongol military machine was capable of such feats. The lengths taken suggest a deep and intentional effort not just to protect the body, but to prevent the tomb from ever becoming a target, shrine, or tourist site. In doing so, they created one of the most enduring legends of all time. Historical evidence and accounts. The most valuable historical source on Genghis Khan's life is The Secret History of the Mongols, likely written shortly after his death. However, it is cryptic about his demise. It focuses on his rise, rule, and legacy, with barely a whisper of his death or burial. The silence may not be accidental. It may be the greatest clue of all. Later dynasties, particularly the Yuan in China under Kublai Khan, documented Mongol history in greater detail. But again, the tomb itself is conspicuously absent. Travelers like Marco Polo wrote extensively about Mongol customs and rituals, yet made no mention of a tomb. The complete absence of information hints at a campaign of silence enforced through generations. There is also evidence that the Mongols intentionally kept sacred sites undocumented. In Mongolian tradition, spiritual power often resides in nature itself, in mountains, rivers, and valleys. To label a place as holy would risk desecration. Thus, the silence surrounding Genghis Khan's tomb may be more protective than deceptive. If you've made it this far, you clearly love ancient history as much as we do. Give us a like and hit that subscribe button. More lost tombs and ancient secrets await. In recent decades, modern technology has been brought to bear on the ancient mystery. Expeditions to Mongolia have employed satellites, drones, ground-penetrating radar, and high-resolution LiDAR scans to search the likely regions. Most research focuses on the Khenti Mountains, a range still considered sacred by Mongolians. The Valley of the Khans project, a collaboration between archaeologists and computer scientists, allowed volunteers from around the world to comb satellite imagery in search of man-made patterns. Though a few anomalies were noted, none could be conclusively tied to the tomb. National Geographic explorer Albert Yumin Lin used non-invasive techniques, avoiding actual digging out of respect for local customs. His work brought renewed attention and excitement, but still no definitive discovery. His approach, which respected Mongolian spirituality while using cutting-edge tools, was hailed as a model for future explorations. Every few years, rumors flare up. Someone claims to have found it. A new anomaly sparks global interest, but nothing ever proves conclusive. And with each failure, the sense grows stronger that the tomb may truly be lost forever, or that it was never meant to be found. Cultural and spiritual barriers. Perhaps the most impenetrable barrier to the tomb's discovery is not technological, but cultural. To many Mongolians, Genghis Khan is more than a historical figure. He is a sacred ancestor, a national symbol, and in some cases, a quasi-spiritual being. Opening his tomb would not be a triumph of science, but a violation of spiritual law. Many Mongolian shamans and elders argue that disturbing Khan's rest could curse the land or destabilize Mongolia. These beliefs are not fringe opinions, they are widely held, and they influence government policy. Some sacred sites in Mongolia are now protected by law, with foreign archaeologists required to obtain special permissions that are rarely granted. The spiritual resistance is compounded by a sense of national pride. Why should outsiders uncover the tomb of Mongolia's greatest hero? Geography and natural obstacles. Mongolia is a land of extremes. Its vast steppes, high plateaus, dense forests, and rugged mountains make exploration incredibly difficult. GPS systems often fail in remote areas. Satellite imagery can be obscured by tree cover or seasonal changes, and local wildlife and weather can be hazardous. If the tomb lies in the Khenti Mountains or somewhere equally remote, it may be beneath layers of soil, stone, and centuries of vegetation. Landslides, erosion, and natural decay would have further hidden any evidence. And if the stories about rivers and forests being used to cover the grave are true, then nature itself has become the tomb's guardian. To find the tomb may be to lose the legend, and legends, after all, often hold more power than bones. What if it is found? But let's indulge our curiosity. Suppose one day a researcher uncovers definitive evidence of the tomb. Inside there are artifacts, weapons, armor, inscriptions, scrolls, even preserved human remains. The discovery would be earth-shattering. Museums would clamor for access. Researchers would rush to document, photograph, and study every piece. Mongolian authorities would face international pressure. And the spiritual consequences? Possibly unpredictable. Some might celebrate, others might mourn. And the world would be reminded that even the mightiest must one day lie in the ground. Whether such a discovery unites or divides, it would irrevocably change how we see history. The mystery of Genghis Khan's tomb is not just a missing chapter of history. It is a symbol of mystery itself, a reflection of the limits of knowledge and the power of reverence. In an age where satellites map every corner of the Earth and data travels at the speed of light, this one question remains unanswered. And perhaps that's how it should be. Maybe some stories are more powerful when they remain open-ended. Genghis Khan reshaped continents, civilizations, and cultures. He left behind empires, legends, and questions. And in death, he may have left behind the greatest mystery of all. If this story intrigued you, help us uncover more by liking the video and subscribing for future episodes. Until next time, stay curious.